Hello there, boys and girls. This is Dom again, recording for MagicGatheringStrat. What I have for you today is a 64-player draft. So the way this works is basically there are going to be 3 rounds of single elimination, and after that a cut to top 8 where there is going to be another draft to figure out the actual winner. So we are waiting for the tournament to start. By the way, one of our dear real-life friends, Yannick, is in the draft as well, so maybe we run into each other, and then tomorrow, where we have our regular limited session at my place, I can hopefully brag about making top 8 or something. But yeah, so the draft has just started. Let's see what we get. Oh, Yannick is even in the same draft pot. That might be interesting. We get a Garruk, Caller of Beasts. Now let me just quickly check what that is worth. I think I'm gonna pick it anyway because Garruk is a pretty strong card. I think it's worth something. Huh. Garruk, Caller of Beasts, 9 ticks, yeah. So we're gonna pick it anyways. But I think the card is also pretty good. Now looking at the rest of this pack, there are some pretty strong green cards. There is a Howl of the Night pack. What's this card? What's his name? Woodborn Behemoth is also pretty strong, and also Giant Spider. So yeah, a lot of good green cards. There's also Master of Diversion as the only really good white card. I like Siege Mastodon, but Master is pretty strong in like the aggro white deck. Some good blue cards in Divination and Time Map, and also Archaeomancer. But yeah, I think the pick is probably just Garruk. I mean, it gives you so much gas for the late game, so there's really no point in not picking it. Of course, we're not going to be married to this pick, but I think it's a very strong card. Now here we the cards that stand out to me are Phantom Warrior. If we want to, it's basically Phantom Warrior and Charging Griffin, but I don't like white at all actually. I just think that white has this unfortunate split between aggro and control, which doesn't really work out. Green-white aggro could be something, so we might just pick the Charging Griffin. But I kind of like the Phantom Warrior a little bit more. If we want to stay on color, there are Troll Hide and Giant Growth, which are both pretty strong main board cards. But yeah, it's tough. If you want to stay on color, I'd probably pick Giant Growth over Troll Hide. But I think I'm just gonna pick this Phantom Warrior here. I just like blue a little bit too much. I might still end up blue-green. Now, looking at this pack, the cards that stand out to me are Marauding Maulhorn. There is also, in blue there is a Scroll Thief, in green there would be another Trollhide. Corrupt is obviously very good, but I think that this is asking for trouble here, picking a basically mono black card after picking a blue and a green card. We could still do it though. Yeah, I think I'm tending towards the Maulhorn. It works in both decks, in like the green red dudes sort of beast tribal deck, also just in a blue red aggressive deck. And I just think the card is pretty strong. I mean, it's basically just Juggernaut, right? So Juggernaut has always been a fantastic limited card. There's some decent white slivers, but I'm not going to bother with that. So I'm just going to pick the Maulhorn and see where this takes us. Now here, this pack is pretty weak. I think the best cards are black. There's a Ring Flash, which is pretty decent. There's an Undead Minotaur and a Vampire Warlord, which are all okay, but nothing to be really excited about. I think I'm just gonna go with the Frost Breath here. It works in a the blue-red tempo deck. It also works in like blue-green tempo. In any kind of blue deck that is not super controlish, this card is gonna do some work. I don't like picking this up 4th pick. I'd rather just have another guy, but nothing we can do here. So here it's pretty straightforward. It's just Nephalia Seeker. I think it's actually the best card in the pack by a fair margin. Pitchburn Devils is also good, but it's 5 mana. It's a 5 mana 3/3. So this is sometimes a little bit awkward for your aggressive deck, where you don't really want to top out with the 3/3 for 5. It's still good because it puts them into a pretty rough spot when they have to like when I have to like block it when they're at low life, and it just generates some awkward situations for your opponents. But I think overall Seekai is just a little bit better, so I'm gonna pick that. Now here we see that green is kind of drying up, and we also passed a lot of good green cards to our left, so I don't really want to. I don't really see us going down the green route. I think it's just going to be blue-red aggro from here. And in that case, we could pick up a second Frost Breath, but I actually like picking the Regatham Firecat here. I like it a lot in blue-red because you have cards like Seismic Stomp and Train Condor, which can make you good use of it. And just by its own, it's a 4/1 for 3, which can block and trade with most stuff. And if they don't have anything, if they don't have a blocker, they just take a lot of damage. There would be an argument for Frost Breath to still keep up like the green-blue route, but I actually like the Firecat here. Now here I think Mark of the Vampire is probably the strongest card, but for our deck it's just going to be Lightning Talons. I like Lightning Talons in the blue-red tempo decks. I'm going to hide this Garrett, by the way. Yeah, I like Lightning Talons in the blue-red tempo decks, because if you can put it on like a Scroll Thief or something, it's gonna do good work. I'm not very excited about the card, but I think it's definitely serviceable. Now here it's a little bit awkward. I mean, black and white seem to be the most open colors, but I think at this point we don't want to switch. I don't like switching after a few picks in this format, just because you sometimes don't end up with enough playables. So I think like sticking to your guns is important. And Mainbot Negate is nothing to be very excited about, but it's still okay. Wow, this is a late Master of Diversion. Kind of regretting not going down that route. We might still do it. We might still just pick the Master here and see if, even though I don't like white, I like white aggressive decks. But no, I think I'm just gonna keep doing this and pick the Seismic Stomp. It's okay in this kind of deck. Yeah, see, this is what I mean. I mean, you have Carpathian Knight, which is one of your few white 2-drops, and it's a 1/1. It's a 1/1 first strike, where you of course it can grow, but in the early game you don't have the mana to grow it, and then you just end up with a 2-mana 1/1 that doesn't really put the pressure on. Yeah, this just white just doesn't have a lot to support the aggro plan. I'm gonna pick Cyclops Tyrant. Hopefully not gonna play it, but you never know. Just Liver Construct here. I like this actually as a sideboard card against Cursed Spirit. Also just Grey Ogre for the main board. I'm a Cancrix here. I'm definitely not gonna play that in this build. I'm gonna de-draft the Lay of the Land because I think Soulmend is basically unplayable. And an Apostle. So yeah, this doesn't look that amazing, but I think we at least have a plan. We have like this high power, low toughness guys, this evasion guys, and stuff like Seismic Stomp and Frost Breath to push them through. Wow. So here we have Young Pyromancer, which I like a lot, but I think at this point we only have 2 instants or sorcery, maybe 3 that we want to play. Maybe on Flames of Firebrand is just such a beating. This card is just so good. I think there's no real reason to pass it. Looking at the wheel, if we're very, very lucky, but I don't think this is going to happen, we could wield a Young Pyromancer, but as I said, I don't really expect that to happen. Could also maybe get a Time-At back, which would be okay, or just a Council or a Divination, which I wouldn't be excited about, but never mind. It's very likely as this Master of Diversion is going to wheel again and just getting punished for hating on white, but nothing we can do here. Now, wow. Okay, it's a lot of very strong green cards here. We still have this Garruk, so maybe we might just still switch back to green-red. For our deck, there's basically just Archaeomancer, which I really don't like that much in the tempo kind of decks, in tempo blue decks. I like it in controlish builds, but yeah, I think the upside of maybe being able to draft green after all is just too high. I think I'm just gonna pick the Vastwood Hydra. But then again, green was so overdrafted from our right that I don't foresee any good coming of this. So I think I'm just gonna go with Archaeomancer and just stick to our guns. Now here we do have Clone, which is always solid. Clone is always a solid limited card. The other card we could pick is Blur Sliver, but at this point we have a lot of 3 drops already, and Blur Sliver is not the best as well. So I think I'm just gonna pick up this Clone. It's always a solid limited card, as I said. Now here we have a Scroll Thief, which kind of fits what we are doing. We still have a lot of 3 drops, but this is really the backbone of the deck. You want to have like Scroll Thieves, put Lightning Talents on them, push them through with Frost Breath, stuff like that. There was a limited window at the where Lewis got Vargas at the World Championships. He talked about all limited archetypes, and this was one of them. So if you want to blame something, blame LSV, and don't blame me for picking Scroll Thief here. I don't really like the card all that much apart from that. Wow! Okay, this is great. Train Condor is probably one of the best cards you can get for this deck. There's also Banish a Priest, which shows us that we really should have been white this time, but there's nothing we can do at this point. So, and yeah, we're very happy with Train Condor here. It's a very strong card. Now we really have a lot of 3 drops, so don't really accept us to play this Sliver construct. Here we unfortunately have to pick up another 3 drop with a Regathon Firecat. We could also just de-draft this Windstorm. We have 14 playables so far, but these 14 playables include a Negate, an Archaeomancer, Cyclops Tyrant. So yeah, I'm just going to pick the Firecat just to make sure we get enough playables. There could have been an argument to de-draft the Windstorm, because it's pretty strong against us. So we have 5 3-drop guys, so that really is sort of the maximum. Here we could pick up a Canyon Minotaur or a Thunderstrike. Both cards are reasonable in our deck. I think the Canyon Minotaur is just a little bit more of the safe pick. He would give us a 5th 4-drop, but we probably don't even want to play this Archaeomancer. A Thunderstrike is okay, but I think Minotaur is just a little bit more safe. Yeah, okay, we get another Scroll Thief. So we're really filled on 3 drops. See, it's Master of Diversion Wheel. This is amazing. This card is very, very good, but it just doesn't have the support it needs in this format. But we are definitely going to get crushed by this Master of Diversion deck. I think I'm just going to pick Cancel here. I don't expect us to play a main board. Neither do I expect us to play Negate, or Archaeomancer for that matter, or Cyclops Tyrant. So I'm going to just hide them all. We have 14 playables so far, which is acceptable. Here I don't think that any of the cards really do a whole lot. I think I'm just going to de-draft this, draft as a Quarter Shield, because maybe we find a spot to use it, although I don't think this is going to happen. We don't have that many enchantments or artifacts, so Solemn Offering is not even good against us. I think I'm just going to pick this Merfolk Spy, probably never boarding it in. Wow, Divination and Seismic Stomp are both playable. I don't think we really want more than 1 Seismic Stomp, so I'm just going to pick up this Divination. 3-drop city here. 3-drop city. Maybe we should have counter drafted the 1/1 flyer in the pack before, because it's pretty good against our Train Condor. So what we really want here is just a ton of 2-drops, basically, just anything. Coral Merfolk, I don't care, just anything. Or just a Shift's Embrace, maybe. Yeah, I think Shift's Embrace and Chandra's Outrage is really close, I think, because Shift's Embrace is just such a powerful card. It can just end games very, very quickly, but Chandra's Outrage is premium removal, and maybe with this Flames of the Firebrand and this Chandra's Outrage, there might be an argument to play the Archaeomancer after all. But Nah, I think I'm just gonna pick the Shift's Embrace. It's also very good with Scroll Thief, and the card is just very, very powerful. It immediately demands an answer, which is something that I want from my auras. I want them to be very so strong that they immediately have to answer it, so that I can kind of mitigate the effect of getting 2 for 1 by just having 3 wins when they don't have the removal, if that makes sense for you. So now here we have Water Servant or Shock. We only have 10 guys. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we only have like 10 guys. So maybe we just need the Water Servant. But we have a lot of 4 drops already. I think I'm just going to pick up the Shock here. I like Water Servant a ton, but I just think that we need some cheaper cards here. So yeah, a bunch of Coral Merfolks would basically be ideal. Colossal Whale is a card I like a lot, but not in this kind of deck, just because it's a little bit too expensive. I think I'm just gonna pick another 3-drop in Warden of Evil's Isle. Yeah, this form is really lacking 2 drops. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Coral Merfolk is definitely the pick. It's an aggressive 2-drop. It's just what we need. There's another Banisher Priest. I think we would have a very good seed for white. But wow, we could have had 3 Banisher Priest or 3 Master of Diversions, because this one's again going to wheel probably. Oh man, oh man. Okay, we're okay with just another Frost Breath here. Here we have basically, man, so many masters. Dear me. So here we have Frost Breath, Lava Axe, and Molten Birth. Don't know which one we really want the most. I think there's an argument for Lava Axe, just because it's something we don't have, or don't have yet. Frost Breath, 3 Frost Breaths just might be a little bit too much, with also this Seismic Stomp around. And I think with only having 12 creatures, there's an argument for Molten Birth. I'm actually just gonna pick up the Molten Birth. So and another Molten Birth. Wow, Planet Cleansing. White is really, really open. Yeah, I'm just gonna pick up this Molten Birth here again. Yeah, we really want some Coral Merfolks. Come on, guys. Nah, no more Coral Merfolks first. But a 7th pick Water Servant. Wow, wow, that is amazing. As much as I like Scroll Thief in this kind of deck, I think Water Servant is just too good. So blue was definitely open for in the seed we have. We only saw this one Coral Merfolk, right? And the Young Pyromancer. These were basically the only really good 2-drops we saw. We didn't see a Goblin Shortcut or anything. But yeah, I like where we are here. I don't really like the Divination. I don't really like the double Molten Birth. But basically we do have a plan, which is casting like Scroll Thieves and big power guys, enchanting them with lightning talents and pushing them through the Frost Breath and Seismic Stomp. And also this Shift's Embrace is pretty strong. About the Archaeomancer, let's actually see how many instant or sorceries we really have. We have these 3, but it's not really that great, because you actually want to end the game with Frost Breath. I'm just going to pick up the Charging Griffin here, because I think it's the best card. Although nobody seems to be white, but still. Yeah, about the Archaeomancer, we still have Divination, the Flames, the Molten Birth, but I just think it's a little bit too dorky for this setup. So yeah. But I like this deck. We have a couple of strong cards. We would definitely like more 2-drops instead of these Molten Births here. But there's not much we can do about that. Oh, we get another 2-drop. We get a Seacoast Drake, which is not the best, but I think at this point we're just gonna take any 2-drop. Yeah, and it's also okay, although it's not amazing. Which card is the worst for us here? Probably just Show of Valor, right? We don't really care that much about Pillar Field Ox. And probably just pick the Solemn Offering, because now we picked up a Shift's Embrace, another Seismic Stomp that we're not going to play, and a Pay No Heed. Yeah, so white was really, really open. Yeah, white was very, very open. I hope our friend Yannick was in this draft part and drafted white, because he actually first showed me at the pre-release how good the Master of Diversion really is. He had it in a green-white aggressive deck where he had a ton of 2-drops, like the 2-drop slivers. You have 2 power slivers in both green and white. And he just, yeah, basically just beat me to a pulp. Yeah, so the Master of Diversion really proved how strong it is, and I haven't looked back ever since. Because I kind of always lose against Master of Diversion. Whenever my opponent plays Master, I just instantly lose. Sort of a bad joke. Now here, I don't know, maybe we have to wait for the other drafts to finish. I'm gonna pause the video and get back to you guys as soon as deck building starts. So see you in a short while. So here we are for deck building. Should it actually records? Yeah, seems to work. Okay, so we're gonna start with the cards that definitely make our deck. Phantom War is in, Warden is definitely in, Content, the Double Scroll Thief. We definitely want 2 Frost Breaths. We might want the Divination, we might want to cancel. Maybe an Archaeomancer. Coral Murfolk's definitely in just for consideration. So is Seacoast Drake. Negate goes to the maybe pile as well. We're not going to play Sliver Construct because we have so many 3-drops. We're going to play the Shift's Embrace, the Maulhorn, the Minotaur, the Double Firecat, the Lightning Talons, Flames, Shock, and definitely 1 Seismic Stomp. So these are the cards we might play, and we are pretty creature light. Not that bad, but we only have 14 guys, and it's a little bit low on guys in a deck that has Lightning Talons and Frost Breath, which wants to benefit from having creatures on the board, and also the Shift's Embrace, Seismic Stomp as well. So we probably want at least 1 more creature. Now I'm not really sure again about Archaeomancer, but with just 2 really good targets, it just seems a little bit too weak. So I think the Molten Births, they seem pretty awkward as well, because we have a lot of double blue and not a lot of double red. No, it's actually equal. So yeah, I think we can play 1 Molten Birth and probably just treat it as a 4-drop. And then I'm not sure about Cyclops Tyrant. It is a big evasion guy, but it can't block small guys. I haven't actually played with it before, but I don't think it's that strong. I think I'd just rather have a main bot negate to just prevent our guys from removal spells. I think main bot negate might be a little bit better in this deck than cancel, just because it's cheaper, because it's 1 blue mana, and we countering non-creature spells is actually what I want the most, because we have a lot of evasion guys, and we just want to assemble a hard to block guy and then just punch through. So I think this is going to be our main setup. We could also just run a Divination, but I think Negate is going to be a little bit better. I don't want double Seismic Stomp, I think. There's an argument for it, but I don't like double Seismic Stomp because it doesn't advance your board at all. It just punches through, damages if the board gets stalled, but it doesn't help you to advance your board state. So let's look at the stats really quickly, which is always helpful. We have more blue cards than we have red cards, and more blue mana symbols, so I think I am going for a 9-8 split. Modo actually agrees with us, which is always nice. So this looks to be our deck. As I said, there are compelling arguments for all of these cards. Yeah, let's just go through them again really quickly. Molten Birth is okay, but I don't really want a second copy because it's very hard to cast, and we have a million 3-drops. Cyclops Tyrant just seems a little bit too weak, although I haven't played with it, so I can't really tell. we might just try it out if we're playing against some like green groundstall kind of deck. Console is okay, but I think in this slot I rather have a negate. Seismic Stomp, we don't want the second copy. Divination seems a little bit off in our deck where we want to curve out and apply pressure quickly. And Archaeomancer just seems too dirtly as a 1/2 for 4 mana, which only has 2 really good targets. So yeah, I'm gonna submit this deck and see how we can do. Hope we can make top 8. This is not a very good deck. I think it's actually a little bit on the weaker side just because we have a very clunky curve. But it has a plan. We can definitely win some games. And yeah, let's hope we make the top 8. If we can't, then so be it. But I see you guys back for round 1. Here we are for round 1. We are playing against Gozel. I don't know this player, but I'm going to be polite. Wish him good luck. And we want a row. We're definitely going to play first with this deck. And this hand seems okay. It's a little bit land heavy. But we have 2 evasion creatures. We can hopefully do something with them. Let's see if he decides to keep as well. Still thinking about it. Yeah, he does keep his hand as well. So we're going to start off with an island and pass the turn. And see what we're up against. We're up against black deck. I think the pools get mixed in between. So we play mountain and pass. I think the pools get mixed in between, so we can't really tell what we have by thinking about the cards that we saw. So yeah, now here I don't really know what to play. I'm afraid that if we play the Scroll Thief, that he's just gonna play a defensive guy, which can then just block the Scroll Thief. I'd much rather just play out the Warden this turn so that we can apply some pressure. Maybe I've been correct to play the Scroll Thief, but with no way of really pushing it through, I think this might have just been wrong. He has Quack Sickness, so that's unfortunate. Now here we could play the Sea Kite during his turn, or even during our turn, to prevent it from being countered. But not really sure. He didn't seem to have a creature. So maybe we just want to run out the Scroll Thief. Yeah, I think running out the Scroll Thief is okay here. He might just have a ground blocker, which then just renders our Scroll Thief obsolete. He has sensory deprivation, so that's okay. He has a Warden of Evil's Isle, so we're gonna see if he attacks into us. Hopefully he does so. What does he have? A Senge Vampire. That's very strong. Yeah, he does actually attack into us, so we can assassinate this guy with our Nephalia Sea Kite, which is always nice. But the Senge Vampire is gonna prove very difficult to deal with, I think. With that, oh, there's the Lightning Talent. Huh. Now I think we're just gonna, go for the race here. There's a very big chance that he just goes. Oh, wait, undo that. There's a very big chance that he just has a removal spell on the ready here to just 2-for-1 us, but I think at this point we can't really play around that. We could have put the Lightning Talents on our Scroll Thief so that he's back online, but I don't think that really does a whole lot. He's of course attacking because he can't block a guy, and he didn't play the 5-mana removal spell, so if he probably doesn't have that. He might still have a Bound spell or just Doomblade, but we're gonna find out in a short while. And if he doesn't have a removal, he's on a pretty fast clock actually, because we also have this Frost Breath if he tries to go and stabilize. We drew a lot of lands here, 7 lands and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spells. But we're still in decent shape. He again attacks with Sengir, which makes total sense. And he didn't seem to have drawn a removal spell here, because again he would just play Liturgy of Blood if he had it. So we're just gonna go for the races. Put him down to 5 and see if he can measure up some defenses. Probably has to leave the Senga Vampire back, and if he doesn't, that means that he has drawn a solution. So we have to... Oh, is that a Liturgy of Blood? No, it's a Diabolic Tutor. What can he tutor for? That costs 1 mana. Oh, no, he didn't play a land, so he might just tutor for Doomblade and kill our guy. Play a Swamp, play Doomblade, kill our guy, if he has it. If he has it, that is. If he doesn't have it and just leaves the Senga back, then we can just kill him with Frost Breath. Which is exactly what we are going to do. Okay, pay 3 and tap his Sengir and attack in for the win, hopefully. I don't think there's a 1 mana spell that can prevent us from winning at this point. So it looks like we have successfully won the first game, playing against a blue-black sort of control-ish kind of deck. This could mean that we don't want the Seismic Stomp really, because he's probably gonna have a couple of flyers at least, and not that many creatures that can beneficially trade. Merfolk Spy does have Island Walk. Maybe the combination of Merfolk Spy and Lightning Talons could mice some wins, but I don't think this is the path to victory here. We might bring in this Cancel, but again it's just a little bit expensive. Cyclops Tyrant actually seems okay in this matchup. It costs a lot of mana though. Maybe Divination just to recover. No. I think on the play we might want another Cancel, but on the draw we might just want this Divination. Maybe just this Molten Birth. Really not sure. I'm gonna try out the Divination just so that we can, if we get like a huge tempo hit in and the board gets, and he stabilizes the board, that we can recover. This hand seems decent, not the best but definitely decent. We have a very strong early attacker in Regathon Firecat, also a flyer, and we'd even draw a second Firecat, which is not really what we wanted, but it's okay. So you have a 2-drop, he doesn't. Draw a Water Servant, which is strong. There's a fly bugging me right now. But we have to focus on this stuff here. Duress. Okay, he's got rid of a Frost Breath, which is okay. Got the sucker. I got him. That's what you get for messing with me, boy. So he might have an Essence Scatter here, which we could play around by just casting Divination, but I think I'm still just gonna run out the Firecat. We have another one waiting. If this one gets Essence Scattered, it's not the end of the world, and it doesn't. Okay, that's very nice. Now he could have something like a Wall of Frost. Just a Warden. He's probably just gonna trade with that. Or yeah, Sensory Deprivation. That makes total sense. Now I think for mana reasons it's going to be better to run out the Water Servant, even though Regathon Firecat does more damage. But just to be efficient on the mana, I want to have this guy out. Also we can like pump our leftover mana into it. It's probably going to swing. No swings. Okay. Okay. I don't know what that really means, but never mind. So I'm gonna just play an island and attack with our Water Servant. He's probably not going to block. I mean, there's no real point. Now we can pump it twice and still not get it, and it will still not be killed by a Ring Flash. So we're just gonna do that. Knock him for 5, and then probably just play another Firecat. He's going to trade that off though. And we don't have Frost Breath currently. Let's see. Maybe we should just play a Scroll Thief or a Warden instead. No, No, I think if he has a big guy, Regatham Firecat is at least going to be able to trade with that. Even though it's probably just going to get blocked by Warden here. Don't know what the correct play here really was. He has Corrupt for 3. Okay. That gives him some time. We do draw an island, which is nice, which means that we can play 2 spells this turn, probably just our 2 guys. He takes 3, and we play a Warden and a Scroll Thief, which are both nice. He's on 2 cards, 3 cards. So yeah, I think this Divination is okay here. So we're probably just gonna start off with Divination and see what we can draw. Draw 2 cards, unless he decides to counter it, which he does. Okay, that's also fine. So I think we're just gonna smack him with all of our guys. He wants to... Well, we could have attacked with the Regatham Firecat actually. I think there's no real way that he can block this guy. He just blocks Scroll Thief. Yeah, I think attacking with Firecat would have been the better play here. Does he have an instant speed? Yeah, Doomblade, okay. At least we have this Doomblade out of the way. We're gonna play another Scroll Thief. See what he can do. Yeah, it was probably correct to attack with the Firecat the turn before. We're gonna attack with it now, of course. Oh, Sheaf's Embrace. But he has 2 cards in hand. Even though the chances of him having a second Doomblade are pretty low, I don't think we really want to risk it right now, because we are pretty far ahead on the board with our double Scroll Thief. I think we just want to wait until he commits something else to the board, or just plays out another spell or 2. He blocks a Scroll Thief, which means that we get to draw a sweet little card, a Shock. Huh. So yeah, I think we're just gonna pass the turn here. See what he can do. He probably drew this land. 7-drop, is this a... yeah, it's a Colossal Whale. That might prove problematic. Let's see, if we kill off his Warden and attack with everything, we attack him for 4 this turn, which means he goes down to 5 and is probably in range of Sheaf's Embrace sooner or later. So we definitely want to shock this guy. Probably... oh, okay, that was a sick draw. That was a sick draw, I'm not gonna lie. Definitely just gonna Frost Breath his whale here and just swing at him for a ton. Yeah, I think at this point the game is pretty much over for him, because we get to draw 2 fresh new cards. Even okay, yeah, that's definitely cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. We just get to clone his whale. Okay, that was one of the more fun plays I've done in this format. Draw into clone and just clone his whale. Yep, nice draws. Not gonna lie. So we successfully won our first match. Let's see what Yannick's doing. So Yannick is still on 0-0. One of the slower matches. Yeah. So yeah, let's root for Yannick. Let's all be with him in spirit, shall we? So yeah, that was round number 1. We were able to win it, and we're gonna be back for round 2 in just a blink of an eye for you guys, while I am going to fix myself some food, a nice cup of coffee, and hopefully can manage to win the second round as well. So see you in just a minute. So here we are back for round number 2. We're playing against Slavia. We won the die roll and we're gonna play first, of course. Wish him good luck. And this hand is a little bit sketchy. It has a Coral Merfolk, which means that we could apply some pressure, but we only have mountains. Yeah, I think as much as this hand would be very good if we ever draw an island, I think I'm just going to mulligan it. This hand is a little bit better. Yes, at least has a plan with like the Ragathon Firecat and the Frost Breath is. But it's still not optimal. I'm not going to mulligan it though. Think it's okay. By the way, my friend Yannick was able to win his first round as well, coming back from an 0-1 deficit. And he told me he's playing a green-blue deck with like double opportunity and Howl of the Night pack and all that kind of stuff. And he's even he has an Elixir of Immortality in his sideboard, which he brought in, and told me he was very much convinced by it. I think in a deck with like a lot of card draw, like double opportunity and maybe even double divination, it might be correct. I think the card is not unplayable by any means, but people just often play for the wrong reasons. They think it's card advantage to shuffle spells back into their library, but it's not actually card advantage. The guys on Limited Resources, they analyzed the whole thing, and they came to the conclusion that you actually have to shuffle back like 15 spells or something, so just that you can get like a whole card out of it. And also the 5 life is just very marginal. So if you want Elixir as an inevitability card, which means that it wins you every late game, because you can just grind them out, then I'm fine with that. But please don't just jam it into every deck. I think you need to have a blue control deck for it to be serviceable. In a blue-red or blue-black control deck, I could see playing it. So our opponent is taking some time to make a decision. I'm gonna pause the video until he comes back. So obviously, yeah, apparently our opponent was unable to show up for the match. So I think we're gonna have a free win here. Let's see how our hand would have developed. We would have drawn a couple of islands followed by Marauding Maulhorn, which means that we would have been able to play Ragathon Firecat into Marauding Maulhorn, and then maybe Scroll Thief, a shock along the way, protecting our stuff by negate, and still have this double Frost Breath action. So I think we would have actually been fine, even though this hand was at the beginning was pretty suboptimal. But yeah, I think it's unfortunate for you guys that you don't get to see another round, the second round here. But yeah, I take it. 3 wins are 3 wins. So I'm happy with that. Let's see how Yannick does. Still 0-0. His deck is really grindy and late game-ish. But yeah, so I think the 0-0 is actually good, because it means that he didn't lose very quickly, and he should be able to win most late games with his deck. So yeah, that was an uneventful round 2, and I'm gonna again pause the video. Oh, he just went 1-0 up. Congrats to Yannick here. So yeah, I'm gonna pause the video again, be back with you guys for round number 3. So there we are, guys. Round 3 is about to start. Yannick won his round 2 as well, so let's see if we can hopefully avoid the shootout. I don't want to really push or get pushed out of the top 8 by a player from my own town, so that would really suck. So let's just play against any of the other guys, shall we? We're waiting for round 3 to start. And I just talked to Yannick. I think 2-1 gives you a couple of boosters. We avoided him. We're playing against Psychologist. That's a fancy little name. GLHFM. Let's see if this time our opponent actually shows up. We lost the die roll, unfortunately, so we're gonna be on the draw, I assume. But that's fine. That's totally fine. Yeah, he's taking a little time to decide, so I'm just gonna pause the video and be right back. That was fast. So here we are with a pretty suboptimal hand. If we draw a land, we can play a Coral Merfolk, but we really have to draw like 2 lands in our first 2 draw steps, or in our first 3 draw steps, so it's just a little bit too risky. The hand would be pretty good, obviously, but I just don't want to take the risk. This hand is much worse. We're going to have to mulligan that one as well, unfortunately. His hand is pretty bad because we have this seismic stomp and not much pressure going on. But there's no real point in mulliganing down to 4 if we have a couple of lands in some place. The Fire has a pretty decent draw here, even though it gets immediately blanked by a Carpathian Knight. So we're going to run out this Sea Coast Drake and we can hopefully draw something reasonable. He has Path of Bravery. Huh. I don't really know about this card. I haven't played against it yet, so let's just see what it can do. It's obviously going to make racing a little bit more awkward. We can't really block his guy if he attacks next turn, so I'm just going to smack him with our Sea Coast Drake. Huh, this card makes races really awkward. You probably has something to follow this up, otherwise he probably wouldn't attack and just keep a Firecat back at home. And he has another Carpathian Knight. Jesus Christ. Now the problem here is if we run out the Marauding Molehorn, you can just double block it with his Carpathian Knights and just eat it. But since we have this Frost Breath ready to go, I'm just still gonna play it. I mean, at this point we're pretty much all in on the beatdown plan. And we want to attack again because we're not gonna block. And we want to bring his life total down as much as possible to maybe shut off his Path of Bravery. So next turn we're just going to Frost Breath his team and attack him for a ton. Then we can hopefully... He hopefully doesn't have much else, because if he has much... If he has something, then we're probably in trouble. But with this Frost Breath and this Seismic Stomp, we can maybe make something work. We can maybe make it work. He's probably just attacking for 1, keeping his other Carpathian Knight back to block a Marauding Molehorn. That would be my guess. And he's pretty light on white mana, so maybe he doesn't have a play. Who knows? He does have a play. He has a Pitchburn Devils. So now we draw a clone. Not really sure what that means. So we have to attack with the Molehorn this turn. So we don't really want to though. But we have to spend this Frost Breath, I think, just for mana considerations. Maybe we can follow it. We can next turn follow up with a Seismic Stomp, so that would be like 10 damage now, and maybe 20. The next few damages next turn. Playing Clone here doesn't really do all that much, so I'm just gonna Frost Breath his 2 guys and then just swing in for 10. That seems okay. Yeah, maybe we're in it. Maybe we're still in it. I mean, his guys are going to get smaller and those guys won't untap, so it depends what he follows it up with. Molten Birth. He wins the coin flip. So that's unfortunate. He has a Sentinel Sliver. So I think at this point I'm just going to go Seismic Stomp. I'm just going to go for Seismic Stomp here. Means he goes down to 2. Oh, and he actually dies to shock. Wow. Wow. That was a great sequence of turns for us. Pretty lucky, but yeah. I guess I take it. That was pretty lucky, but yeah, whatever. Shock him to death. Boom. He's probably typing something. No, just shatter pausing. Yeah, that was pretty cheeky, I have to say. So our Ragathon Firecats don't seem to do all that much against his like 1/1 first strikers and 1/1 tokens. So maybe there's an argument for a Quarter Shield actually, just because it allows our 1 power or 1 toughness guys rather to keep attacking once he has the Carpathian Knights out. Yeah, that might be something, but what do we cut? Probably just this Molten Birth here. Yeah, I want to try that out. It seems reasonable. I mean, it makes our Ragathon Firecats a really sort of an integral part of our deck, and make it so that they are able to attack even even if he has the 1/1 first strike guy, seems okay. I don't really like Cold Shield, but I think in this situation it might be serviceable. So let's see if we can keep a 7-card hand this time. And we can, because this hand is pretty decent. I'm not gonna mulligan it. He starts off with the plains, nothing spectacular. I don't even think that there are any reasonable 1-drops in the format. There's the Sun Tailhawk, but I don't think that guy is actually playable. It's okay against us because we have the trained Condors and stuff. He has Griffin Sentinel to follow that up. So I think, yeah, we're just gonna throw down a Scroll Thief and then maybe next turn Lightning Talons it up. Or maybe even play Sea Kite, depends on what he does here. He has a Charging Griffin. Huh. So now I think we wanna... I think it might be a little bit too greedy, but I think I wanna just pass the turn and play the Sea Kite. Maybe attacks into it, maybe not, who knows. Oh man, he can't even... This guy gets bigger when he attacks. I've completely forgot about that. But I'm definitely gonna double block it here. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna double block that guy here. Get it off the board. We lose our Sea Kite, but we're trading Sea Kite for Charging Griffin, so that seems okay. We could get blown out by removal, but there's not actually any 3 damage removal, I don't think. Could have like a Thunder Strike, but I would still only kill one of our guys, so that's okay. Yeah, that worked out quite nicely. And he has a Pitch Bundles? No, Steel Form Sliver. Okay. So what does that mean? That means, oh, Train Condor. That means that we can either go for the Trained Condor route here, then Talons it up. Yeah, I think because he has this Griffin Sentinel, I kind of want to put the Lightning Talons on the Condor, but on the other hand he could have like a shock that would sort of blow us out. So I think I'm gonna Talons this Scroll Thief here. Yeah, it seems okay. He can double block it, but we're gonna be able to first strike away one of his guys and then... Yeah, it should work out fine. See if he even blocks. If he has something, he might just as well block it. If he has like a Thunder Strike, but I think he would have played that one before to save his Charging Griffin. No. Let's see what he has. Let's just fly again. It's a different one this time. He does actually block it, but just single blocks it. He might have a Thunder Strike. No, he just throws it away to prevent us from drawing a card, which is actually nice, because then we can play the Train Condor and actually attack through his Griffin guy without bothering with this Griffin. That would have kept back our Train Condor before. Yes, Bone Scythe Sliver. Okay. Yeah, so we're definitely taking some damage here. But I'm okay with that. Taking 4 damage is not the end of the world. Yeah, so we take 4, and he has... What does he have to follow this up? Pacifism. No, that's unfortunate. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. We need something now to get back into this game. We can play our Condor and bash with the Seacoast Drake. Let's see. We keep back with the Seacoast Drake. He can... no, we still can't really... We still can't really do that. Now there would be an argument for Frost Breathing him right now. I think that's actually what I'm going... Nah. I don't know. We're taking 8 damage. That's definitely a lot. So I'm just gonna Frost Breath him here to prevent some of the damage. Hopefully we can draw something to follow this up. The pacifism really did us in here. It doesn't seem to have much... Oh, Water Servant. Water Servant is quite nice, because that combines nicely with Train Condor for a lot of damage next turn. So we deal 3 to him next turn. And the turn after that, we gonna deal 3, 4, 5, 6 and 9 damage to him and still have the Seismic Stomp. So I think we're actually in it. Didn't seem to draw that much. I think he probably just drew this land. He's a little bit flooded. So that's nice. So I think we can actually win this game. Could play around like a fortify. Let's see. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we could play around a fortify by keeping back the Seacoast Drake. But I think I'd rather just play the Maulhorn here. And probably... see, if we attack with these two, pump this twice, we deal 7 to him, putting to 9. Which is then... Yeah, I mean, next turn is going to be lethal anyways with the Maulhorn. So I think we can just attack with these two at this point. Don't really know what could get us here. So, no blocks, I guess. Because he doesn't have any untapped guys. Yeah, that Frost Breath worked quite nicely here. Giving us all the time we need. We need it. So, pump this guy twice. Does he have an Outrage? Outrage would be outrageous. Pardon the pun. So we just play this Maulhorn and hopefully kill him next turn, and therefore making it to the top 8. That would be reasonable. I mean, the problem is that Fortify is just basically lethal. Could have Seismics on Fortify, but then we can still block with the Seacoast Drake, so that was another argument for keeping it back. But if he doesn't play anything, I think anyway, regardless what happens, I'm just gonna go for Seismic Stomp next turn. I think it's 5, 10, 11, 12, 13 damage, just like that. I think we have to play around the Outrage by now. I think we can afford that, because we can. That's 10 damage, and we can make it a 2-5, and then it would still be 9 damage. But let's just see what he comes up with. He's taking his time, so he does have something. What if he just outrages the flyer? Do we then block with Maulhorn? Or if he just has a removal for Maulhorn, do we then block with the flyer? Because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It would also be 9 damage again. And he plays something pre-combat. What could that be? An Act of Treason. So that's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I think we do actually block with the Seacoast Drake, because even if his last card is a removal spell, he would then have to, if his last card is a removal spell, let's say it's Enchantress Outrage, he can kill our Water Servant and we would only deal 7 to him. So that would be quite unfortunate. I don't know, I just don't want to lose to Fortify here. So I think I'm gonna just chomp the Maulhorn, take my 8 damage. Let's hope we don't regret it. So let's take our 8 damage. And does he have another blocker? Yeah, he has a Master of Revenge, so that means he's dead. That's nice. That's definitely nice. We're just gonna slam this Seismic Stomp here and pump up our Water Servant, even though we don't even need it. So that means we can slam him for the win, which is definitely nice. Definitely nice. I like that. I like attacking for the win. I don't know about you guys, but I do. So boom, top 8 time. Thank you very much. So Yannick is 1-0 up. That means he's on his way to the top 8 as well. So we might even get the City Showdown, the City of Bern Showdown. That would be quite nice, something to brag about if we actually knock him out of the top 8. So we're really cheering for Yannick here, that he actually makes it. But anyways, that was round 3, and I'll see you guys back for the top 8. So here we are for the top 8 draft, actually. don't know if Yannick made it. Yeah, seems like it. No, let's see. I can't get messages right now, but never mind. So looking at this pack, we have Ogre Battle Driver, which is a pretty strong card. It's also another great red card with Chandra's Outrage. But I think I want to pick the Ogre Battle Driver. I just think it's a little bit more powerful. There's also the possibility of Corrupt. We might just pick this Corrupt, actually. Just to maybe get into the heavy black deck. I'm not sure. I think it's definitely been Battle Drive and Corrupt. Enlarge is also another card, but yeah, I think I'm just going to take the Battle Drive. I think it's a pretty strong card. Looking at this pack, we could go for the Master of Diversion actually, but we could also just maybe follow, maybe do the same thing with it before and pick the Time app here. Try to go into blue-red aggro again. I think it's definitely between Master of Diversion and Time app here. We passed the Corrupt before, so we don't really want to pick that up. I think I'm actually just going to pick Time app, but just like blue so much more than white in this format. So let's just see what comes from this. So here we see that white would have been a nice idea because we would have gotten Discharging Griffin. There's also a Rumbling Bailoff in the pack, which I think is probably the best green common. But we also have a Warden of Eva's Isle, which I had in my last deck, as you remember, and I think the card is actually quite nice. So maybe we're just doing the same thing all over again. The pack also has more green cards than blue cards, which means that it's more likely to put people to a left into green than blue. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna pick the Warden here. Follow up a Time app, and we get a Goblin Shortcutter. That was something we missed in the last deck we had, because yeah, it's one of the few common 2-drops, and you really want a ton of 2-drops in this kind of deck. So I think we're probably just gonna go with the Shortcutter. So we're off to a nice start here. Again, blue-red aggro. I really like the archetype. Oh, and we get a nice choice between Young Pyromancer and Marauding Maulhorn. Now I do like both of the cards a fair amount, but I think Young Pyromancer being a 2-drop really is really the tiebreaker here. Plus with Ogre Battle Driver you can do some really sweet stuff when you can like maybe Seismic Stomp them, get a 3-1 guy, a 3-1 hasty attacker. Also red seems pretty open, as we can see from this pack. No blue cards unfortunately, so maybe we have to abandon blue after all, but I think I'm going to pick the Young Pyromancer here for the reasons I mentioned, mainly just because it's a 2-drop. Here we have a couple of blue cards, so blue might not be drafted to a right after all. I think I'm just going to go for Illusory Armor here. It's not the best of cards, but I think I like it more than Divination, even though we have a Young Pyromancer. I actually just see this guy as a Goblin Piker with a random upside in this deck. I don't really want to build around it. I just like it as it is, as like just a 2-1 for 2. So I'm gonna pick this Armor here. So let's just write to Yannick fairly quickly. I know we have the legs back, so we're definitely going to pick Shortcut here. Again, 2-drops are at a premium in this format, and while Pitchburn Devils is fine, I don't really like it that much in aggro decks. I think I mentioned it before already, so let's just hang on. Yeah, I think he can read my messages, but I can read his. So now I'm just going to pick up this Goblin Piker here, as I said. Man. No, there's no... I can't find a way to figure out whether Yannick is in this draft or not. Don't think he is. Let's see. Let's see. No, it's again all the players who were in the draft. Never mind. So here we can... There's a few cards still left for us. We can pick a Wild Guess, which I don't hate. We can also pick a Lava Axe, which would be more on theme for our deck, probably. or just a Cancer, but I think I'm just gonna go for the Lava Axe here. We look to be a pretty aggressive deck, and I like Lava Axe as a finisher. Now this is our first pack again. I think there was a Seismic Stomp in the pack which didn't wield, which is unfortunate. I'm just gonna pick Wild Guess. It's the only card that's on color and marginally playable. Oh no, there's the Seismic Stomp. Definitely gonna pick that. Seismic Stomp together with Ogre Battle Driver seems really awesome. We're a little bit short on creatures right now, so we definitely need more of those. Yeah, let's not bother with that right now. So let's see what we get back. Red seems like it's pretty open, but blue again, not that open, but not completely overdrafted as well. I think I'm just going to go for Siege Mastodon probably, or just Congregate, because some people might board in against us and it's going to be pretty strong. Yeah, I like that. Congregate's not actually, it's not main board playable, but if, like same thing with Fog, they're not main board playable cards, but against decks that sort of combo-ish, aggressive, sometimes they can do a nice job of doing something when you sideboard them in. Demolish it's not going to be played in our main deck. Yeah, so I like where this is going. I like it a lot. We could still maybe go Red Black Sacrifice, the Red Black Sack deck, but I think I want to stick with blue if possible. And if we can get like a Train Condor, that would be awesome. And we get a Scourge of Valkis. Now, I never played this card, but a 4/4 flyer for 5 with Fire Breathing that pinks for 1 has to be awesome. So I'm just going to pick that for sure. Here the best card to wield for us would probably be this Battle Sliver, but I don't accept us to wield this. And apart from that, there's Dragon Hatchling, which is not unplayable. Let's go with Scourge of Valkis. But apart from that, maybe just a Lava Axe or something. I don't know. Don't really expect us to wield a lot here. Now this pick is interesting. This Volcanic Geyser, which is not the most mana efficient card. Most people actually overrate it. I mean, it's an X-Burn spell, so that's definitely strong. But Shock is just way more mana efficient than Volcanic Geyser. That said, Volcanic Geyser gives a deck a lot of reach. I'm not talking about reach the keyword, but just reach out and kill your opponent directly with a burn spell. So that's something I like. I think the pick is very close, although most people will probably just slam the Geyser. I'm still gonna pick the Geyser, I think, just for the flexibility. There's also Claustrophobia, but that's not. It's also very good, but I think I like burn spells more. They work better with Young Pyromancer. There's a grey pack for us. Geysers, I think what we want. Now here we could go for either a Shift's Embrace, a Marauding Maulhorn, or a Scroll Thief. We're not really looking like a Scroll Thief kind of deck right now, although Scroll Thief would definitely be good in a deck with the Goblin Shoal Cutters. But I think I'm just going to pick the Maulhorn. Shift's Embrace is, I think, a better card, but we only have 6 creatures right now. And I'm a little bit concerned that we might be low on creatures, which would be bad with our like creature dependent cards like Ogre Battle Driver, the Illusory Arm and stuff. So I think Maulhorn is a little bit more of a solid pick, although Shift's Embrace is probably a bit better. Now here we have the option between probably Awaken the Ancients and Scroll Thief. I don't want Phantom Warrior because we have a lot of red mana symbols in our deck. I don't really know about Awaken the Ancients, but it seems pretty strong actually. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna pick that over the Scroll Thief. Maybe we could even be a mono red deck. If we get enough cards, that's definitely a possibility. But that said, I think here I'm just going to go with Frost Breath over Lightning Talons. I generally like the card a little bit more, especially because it works with Young Pyromancer. And as you have seen during the 3 rounds before, Frost Breath did really overperform in these matches. So I'm just going to pick the Frost Breath here. Now here we can either pick a 2-drop in Coral Merfolk, a 3-drop Haste in Blur Sliver, or the Nephalia Sea Kite. Again, I think these 3 cards are better than Lightning Talons in a deck. Not really sure between the 2-drop and the 4-drop, but I think when in doubt you should just pick the 2-drop. That said, Nephalia Sea Kite is pretty strong. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go for the power level here over consistency, because Sea Kite is a very strong card. It's not the very best in an aggressive deck, but it's still a 2-power flyer that can sometimes ambush some stuff. We will see in the end. Maybe it would have been better to just stay on course and pick the Coral Merfolk. What I really want is a Train Condor here. Now here I think I'm just gonna counter draft the Windstorm, because I really don't want... should we pick up a Condor, and Condor is definitely one of the premium cards we want here. Should we pick up a Condor, then Windstorm can really blow us out. Here I'm gonna pick Dragon Hatchling, because it's the only really playable card in a colors. Let's see, we have 17 cards, -5, that's 12 cards for Mono Red. So we probably will not be able to play Mono Red, which would have been nice. But I think a light blue splash is probably what we want here. Yeah, the Ship's Embrace pick is still interesting, but I think we already have an Illusory Armor, and gonna pick another Dragon Hatchling here. I think I'm not in love with the card, but I think it's very similar to Lava Axe actually, where you can just pump some mana into it and hit your opponent for a bunch. I'm not sure if we're going to run 2 Dragon Hatchlings. They're nice with Scorcher Falcons, but I don't think that should be a consideration. Also, Dragon Hatchling is of course better in a Mono Red deck, so if we could pull this off maybe, then we would have then we would probably play both of them. I saw Ben Stark at the World Championships playing a deck with double Dragon Hatchling, and if Ben Stark does it, it can't be wrong, can it? So yeah, this deck looks pretty sweet. Scorcher Fox does what? We wield a Shock? That's incredible. I almost picked that. So we get the best of both worlds. We picked the Geyser and we wield a Shock. Yeah, that's awesome. The rest definitely underdrafted at this table. At this point, I don't think we're gonna run the Wild Guess because we have a lot of playables already, and I'm not sure about the Lava Axe. I'm gonna hide it for now. We have 11 guys, so we would like some more creatures. Also, this double Dragon Hatchling, I'm really not sure about. Let's see. Pyramid for red instant, a sorcery spell deals 2 damage plus 2 more damage. Not really sure about that. Seems pretty dorky. I think I'm just gonna de-draft this Howl of the Night pack probably. Then again, it costs 7 mana. Yeah, whatever. We could have just rare drafted there. It doesn't probably matter all that much. I'm gonna de-draft the Payno here because it can fizzle a Volcanic Geyser. Not that it's very likely to end up in a main deck, but you never know, and you don't want to get randomly blown out by such a card. I'm gonna pick the Smelt for the sideboard so that we can win against the Pyromancer's Gauntlet combo deck. So we can go turn 3 Warden of Eva's Isle into turn 3 Scorcher Valkas. That sounds like a plan. That sounds like a nice plan indeed. We cut a double Dragon Hatchling. We are down to 15 cards, but that's still okay for 2 packs. That means we are a little bit over average. Definitely don't want to play against Trivial, so I'm glad to de-draft it here. Plus the guy, I know the guy on our left is probably black because of the corrupts, but maybe he didn't have the courage to go deep. Now here we see a Water Servant as the best card for us, although it's double blue and that could prove problematic. I think maybe I'm just gonna pick the Frost Breath over it because of that. It's probably correct, but Water Servant is so strong. Let's see. Would really like to play like a 10/7 mana base at least with our 2 triple rare cards, maybe even an 11/6. So that said, if we go 10/7, how good is Water Servant? It's still a 3/4, and Awaken the Ancients is really taxing on the red mana. I'm really not sure about that. I think I'm just gonna still pick the Water Servant just because it's that strong. Now we get an pack is pretty bad. I think we're just gonna pick the Act of Treason here. It's an okay card, even though we don't have any sacrifice tricks. Still think the card is decent. Could also pick up a Ratchet Bomb for value, but I don't really want to do that, so just pick the Act of Treason. Now here we have the choice between a Shock and a Golden Shortcut. I'm probably just gonna go for the Shock, right? Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-ish non-creature spells, so that might be a little bit too much actually. We might maybe just want the Goblin Shortcutter. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna pick Shortcutter instead. Then again, Shortcutter might just wheel because Shock did wheel as well. Not sure, really not sure about that. It's very hard to pass up on Shock, and we can still cut this Act of Treason maybe. Wrecketh and Firecat's definitely what the Doctor ordered. It's very good in this kind of deck where you have like Shortcutters to put it. Wow, Train Conda. Yeah, there we go. There's also Dark Prophecy in this pack. If you have seen the World's coverage, they talked about the Dark Prophecy kind of combo deck where you just have some 1 or 2 corrupts in your deck, and then you just keep sacrificing Tenacious Dead to something, drawing cards with Dark Prophecy, drawing into corrupt. That deck seems awesome. I have to draft it at some point. Now we have 14 creatures, including the Awaken the Ancient, so I think we're on a good way. I don't regret not picking the Goblin Shortcutter here, even though it would have been very good, but Shock is just so efficient. It's just one of the most efficient burn spells. Here we get Phantom Warrior, but Phantom Warrior is really ambitious. What if we don't play this Awaken the Ancient? We really could just not play this because it's so taxing on the mana. That means we would have missed out on a sweet other card. I don't remember what was in this pack exactly, but it would definitely have been something sweet. I don't think we need another Frost Breath. We have enough stuff to push our guys through. We also have this Act of Treason, so I think I'm just gonna go with the Phantom Warrior here, even though it's gonna be pretty hard to play. And another Dragon Hatchling, yeah, why not? Why not? It's not the best again, but it's definitely okay. I'm not gonna play 3 though. Blur's Liver is decent. It's a 2/2 haste for 3, which is okay. It's a grey ogre with a random upside. It's nothing to be excited about, but it's definitely okay. Pick another Seismic Stomp here. So the deck building process is going to be interesting. Maybe we just can't play this Awaken the Ancient. But then again, if we play turn 6... The thing is that you really want Fall Mountains the turn you play, because if you play on turn 5 you want an untapped mountain. But I think we're just a little bit short on playables. Let's see, if we hide blue, we have 18 playables. If we show all and then hide blue, hide white, hide green, and hide the black, then we're just about on par with playables. But then we would have we would have to play Maybot, Demolish, and Maybot Smelt, so that doesn't work out all that well. I think here I'm just gonna counter draft the Angelic Wall, because it's the card we want to face the least. I think Mono is not going to work, so Traumatize for value. Nah, we're just gonna pick this Divine Favor. Traumatize is not worth anything. How much is Scourge of Valk is actually worth it? I'm gonna check it in just a bit. Here we're gonna probably counter draft the Rod of Ruin, because it could kill out Train Conda. The Molten Birth. Molten Birth seems awesome with Young Pyromancer. So yeah, we wield a couple of very strong cards. I mean, we wield a Shock, so that's definitely something. Let's just quickly check what Scourge of Valkus is worth. It's probably not worth anything. Let's see. Royal Scotia Valkes is 7. Normal Scotia Valkes is 0.5 tickets, so it's nothing to be excited about. But it's definitely good in draft, so we're gonna play these two. Awaken the Ancients, I'm just not sure. It seems very taxing on the mana. It's different with Scotia Valkes because it needs a lot of red mana, but it also has a very nice effect later on. I think just for the power level, we should probably just run the Awaken the Ancients anyways. Play the Molten Birth, the Firecap, Blur, Liver, Act is okay. Wild Guess is a maybe. Act is actually a maybe too. So we're gonna double shock, cut the Pyromancer. I'm not sure about the Hatchlings. Double shock for sure. Frost Breath and Timer, but in for sure. And the couple of double blue cards, which kind of sucks, but never mind. Did we put in something that we didn't want to? I don't think so. So we only have 13 creatures, but it's kind of misleading because Molten Birth and Awaken the Ancients are also creatures, so we're actually fine on creatures. The mana is not the best in this deck, but I think we should still be fine. So we could probably want to run with the Seismic Stomp again, even though we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 evasion cards. I still think it's a good card, especially with with young Pyromancer tokens and stuff like that. So I think I'm just gonna run the 1 Dragon Hatchling for the last slot over Act of Treason. Is that correct? I don't really know. I'm really not in love with Dragon Hatchling. It just playing it early doesn't really do anything because then you can't advance your board at all. And it's also very taxing on the red, but our whole deck is pretty taxing on red mana. So with 15 guys, I think there's an argument. I'm probably not going to play Wild Guess here, even though the card is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I think there's an argument for these 4 cards actually. Lava Axe, Dragon Hatchling, Act of Treason, and Seismic Stomp. And I'm really not sure. Dragon Hatchling will give us something else for our late game, but our late game is pretty much set up. I really think this is a late game card and not an early game card. Act of Treason works nicely with our young Pyromancer and all that kind of stuff. I think it's really depending on the matchup. But I think I'm gonna still start with Dragon Hatchling here. I think Lava Axe is. I would probably cut the Lava Axe over Dragon Hatchling. I would probably run Dragon Hatchling over Lava Axe most of the time because, as I said, it's just kind of the same thing. Just there to punch through some points of damage, but except for that guy can actually interact with opposing creatures. Maybe Act of Treason is just better. I'm just not sure. Just not really sure. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually gonna put in this Act of Treason. Just because it seems to work with what our deck is trying to do a little bit more. Yeah, at some point I will have to make a decision, so I'm just gonna do it like that. Let's look at the stats. We should have way more red than blue, which is actually the case. 2/3 of our deck are red, but we still have a couple of double blue cards. So Modo does suggest an 11/6, but I think I want to run 10/7. That still means that our Phantom Warrior and Water Zone are going to be pretty hard to cast, at least early on. But I mean, those guys are also fine in the late game. And I don't want to go down to 9/8 just because we have a lot of double and even triple red cards. So yeah, I'm still not sure about Act of Treason and Dragon Hatchling, but at some point I just have to make a decision. We can board in the Dragon Hatchling should we figure that it would be better. We could also board in another Seismic Storm, but I think I'm just gonna submit this build and then see you for the quarterfinals. So, the quarterfinals are about to start. One of our opponents actually timed out during deck building, so at some point someone in this top 8 might face a 75 card deck. Besides that, I decided to go for a last minute audible into I'm playing the Dragon Hatchling after all, just because I think we have enough stuff to push our guys through. Wish him good luck. And we have the combo assembled. If we can draw another mountain, we're fine. It's definitely not a mulligan. So let's see what this young Pyromancer Ogre Battle Driver interaction can do. Draw another island. So I think immediately we're sort of punished by not going overboard with mountains, because now if we draw like Scorcher Falcus, we're just gonna hate our life. Now here we could go for time up and attack for 1, but then next turn he's just going to play the Sentinel Sliver again, and then he will be able to block a Pyromancer or our token. So I think we want to wait until we have the Ogre Battle Driver on the board, just so that we can make deal some more damage. Let's see if he has anything to follow this Sentinel Sliver up. Definitely not going to block it, because I want to get value from my young Pyromancer. Yeah, the thing is we have Seismic Stomp, Time Map, and like, what's the other guy, Frost Breath already in our deck, so that I don't really think we need Act of Treason all that much, even though the card is good. He has a Root Waller, which is definitely a strong card. So we're going to play our Mountain and our Ogre Battle Driver. The Battle Driver, and we're just going to pass the turn. We still don't want to trade Pyromancer for Sentinel Sliver if we can avoid it. Now he might have... He has a really great curve. 2-drop into 3-drop. By the way, our goal was reaching the top 8, which we successfully did. So everything else from this point is basically just gravy. He attacks here, which means that he's representing a pump spell. But I think, yeah, I'm gonna believe him that he has a pump spell. It could mess up his sequence of plays if we did block. That's a consideration, but oh dear God, dear God. Okay, yeah, I think he's probably in trouble here, because we can now just Frost Breath his 2 blockers, get a 3/1 Hasty Elemental token, and then Time Map his other blocker, and bash him for 1,000,000. So we bash him for 8 this turn, and let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 next turn. So it kind of works. Kind of works the way I wanted it to. Yeah, that was a nice sequence of play. If we can draw anything from this point, we should be able to win this game. But you never know. His deck seems pretty solid, like green-white, pretty aggressive kind of deck. Root Waller is a pretty strong common. I think it's maybe the 2nd or 3rd best green common, behind like the Baloth or the Llanowar Elves. There's also an argument for Recluse. He has a Giant Spider, which means that we have to bounce this instead. And then he... oh man, is he just dead now? I think we just kill him. Oh, that was awesome. That was really, really awesome. I'm not gonna lie at all. So this guy is a 3/1 haster, and then we get another 3/1 haster. That was awesome. Yeah, that was a very nice draw from our part. So we're just completely crushing him. Yeah, it's enough. It's Exactsies. 390. You can't believe it as well. You can't believe it either. Yeah, that was pretty cheeky again from our part. He's a good sport. He's definitely a good sport. So he's probably going to be able to race us a fair bit. His deck seems to have a lot of ground blockers. Let's see. So Seismic Stomp definitely seems solid. I'm not sure we want a second one. We might as well want a second one. We could... I mean, look at what Awaken the Ancients would have done this game. Would have come into play tapped as a 7/7. It's not really what we want. But then again, Then again, the card is quite strong. I think we might just put in another Seismic Stomp on the draw, just so that we can maybe steal a win. We also had this Giant Spider, so our Dragon Hatchling doesn't seem that great after all. And we might just be under so much pressure that Dragon Hatchling doesn't really do anything. Active Treason would be decent, but I think I like another Seismic Stomp a little bit more. Let's see what we can draw here. He should play first. I suggest he... No, I actually think he should be on a draw. I think he should draw first here. Please draw first. He plays first. Never mind. I think we're gonna keep this hand, even though he has a lot of lands. But the Shock and the Molehorn are two pretty strong cards, and there we have it. Phantom Warrior, just in time. I think we're just gonna shock his turn 2 play, regardless of what it is. It is nothing, so we're not gonna shock nothing. Well, if he has a Root Walla here, we're definitely just going to shock it. There's Master of Diversion. Yeah, that's gonna get shocked as well. Just snap shocking it. Gonna play this Phantom Warrior here. Next turn, depending on what he plays, we can play the Molehorn or the Water Servant. Yes, Deadly Recluse. So I think I'm not really willing to trade it. He even has pacifism. Jesus. Yeah, so I think we have to set this one up a little bit more careful. So I'm just gonna play the Water Servant. I don't really want the Molehorn to run into this Deadly Recluse. Pacifism is a sweet one. It's definitely a reason to be white. Yeah. He doesn't have anything. That's okay for me. So now we can go Molten Birth or Molehorn, or we could also just attack, see if he blocks, which he's probably going to, then trade away Water Servant and clear the way for a Marauding Molehorn. Those are all viable plays. The problem with Molten Birth is that it actually doesn't advance a board state all that well. So I think I'm just gonna, let's see if we can make it a 4/5 with the Giant Growth, so we can still trade for that. If he has the +2/+4, we want to be able to kill this guy even though he hasn't. So we're just gonna swing with the Water Zone. He's definitely going to take this trade. There's no question about this. So we're gonna slam down our Molehorn. The problem with playing the island there is if we draw another mountain, we could have gone double Molten Birth if we win the coin flip. That would also have been nice. Now what does he have to tangle with the Molehorn? A Verdant Haven. Verdant Haven is interesting. Oh man, we would have drawn the second mountain. So let's just go for Molten Birth and hope we lose the coin flip so we don't regret not playing the mountain. Yeah, let's choose heads. Heads seems nice. Well, we won the flip, damn it. We would have gotten it back and could have played it again if we played the mountain there, but I think it was still correct to play around Show of Valor there. Maybe. I'm not really sure though. Yeah, let me know what you think. I mean, in retrospect, it's of course easy. Of course, I should have done it the other way, but without knowing what would happen exactly, I don't know. I think it's really a judgment call. It could go either way. Now here we're going to trade the Molehorn for his Root Walla, and if we attack with our 2 elementals and he blocks one of them, we are gonna deal 6 to him, putting him to 11. And then he's pretty close to dead, so I really think he wants to block with the Molehorn here. He wants to block the Molehorn here. So we're just gonna attack with everything here. If he blocks an elemental, we're fine with that. I mean, it's pretty tempting because it's so free, but I don't think he can just... Ah, he does it. Okay. He does he know about a Seismic Stomp? Did he... No, we didn't kill him with Seismic Stomp last time. So let's just hope the coin flip gods on our side. Yeah, let's choose heads again. No, we lost the flip. Too bad. He's at 11 now, and we have 8 damage on the table. So next turn we could maybe just Seismic Stomp him and attack for 8. Then draw something to finish him off. It really depends on what we draw and what he has. If he has like a good blocker for the Maulhorn, then we obviously just want to Seismic Stomp to deal some damage. He draws a Mountain, but he had red mana available all the time, or just for the last few turns. So I don't think we're gonna get blown out here. His deck seems a little bit worse right now, because I really don't like splashing in this format, because you have to run cards like Verdant Haven or Shimmering Grotto, which are all pretty suboptimal, and you don't really want to run them. I like the more streamlined 2-color beatdown decks, or just blue control decks. Like, it's okay to splash in like a blue-black deck, splash for like a Chandra's Outrage, I like that, but in a deck with early beatdown creatures, I don't really want to splash in this format, just because the fixing is so bad. I mean, you have this one and the Darksteel Ignite, the Mana Weft Sliver, those are all pretty bad cards on their own. So let's see what he has. He has Hunt the Weak. So that means he can trade with our Maulhorn. Do we want that to happen? He probably has to trade with a Maulhorn. We could again attack with everything, and then just hope he blocks the elemental token again, because then he would actually die. Yeah, because he did it before, I think this might be a compelling reason to do so. But then again, if he blocks the Maulhorn and takes 2, goes to 9, we're not in really the best of spots. I really want most of our stuff to be lethal here, and we have a lot of cards to follow this up, so I'm just gonna go for Seismic Stomp here and give him the beat downs. We want to attack with this one as well. Yes, okay. So we deal 7 to him, put him to 4, which puts him in range of a lot of our stuff. Even just a Flyer who attacks him twice. Don't know if Hunt the Weak... No, Seraph of the Sword. Now that's something. That means that our Maulhorn is going to run right into that. Which is unfortunate. Don't think we want to really suicide one of our guys here. So that didn't turn out that well. I think we would have been better off to save this Seismic Stomp after all. But again, he's on 4 life, so really anything could happen here. We have a couple of burn spells in our deck, so if we maybe can draw some of them, that would be okay. Yeah, I think I want to be able to draw like a Time Ebb and attack him for 2, so I'm not gonna block yet. Yeah, but we have a lot of outs, so we can still maybe pull something off here, if this is not something really crazy. Lava Axe, okay. Splashing for Lava Axe. Don't know what to think about that. And we draw lands galore, which is not really what we wanted. So I think this turn I'm actually just gonna block. Yeah, I'm actually just gonna block this turn. It's too bad that we're flooding out that heavily, but there's nothing you can do about that. Just happens sometimes. I mean, he did draw, our other opponents did draw a lot of lands too, so that seems only fair. We draw another land, so our outs have diminished severely. It's really, at this point, probably just, yeah, I think it's probably just Volcanic Geyser that we can draw. Now you should attack with everything. Yeah, of course. And we block his Root Waller and draw Volcanic Geyser. One time deck. One time. Geyser. 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 Whoa! That was fast. What would you have drawn? Conda. Conda wouldn't have done anything. Yeah, so that was actually close. So he's playing a pretty aggressive deck as well. Seraph of the Sword and stuff. I think against Seraph of the Sword we might actually want the Act of Treason over the second Seismic Stomp. Yeah, that seems decent. Dragon Hatchling still doesn't seem that great, because the game's really got to come down to race. And Dragon Hatchling, even though it looks good, it's not actually the best at racing. So we're just going to submit that build right here. And just hope we can race him. Just hope we can race him. He has the double Lava Axe deck. Oh. So green-white aggro with a couple of lava axes. That's what we're up against. I still like our chances. I think our deck's very strong. Yeah, we would definitely like to play first. This hand is decent. It's not the very best, but we have a 2-drop, Molten Birth, and this Phantom Warrior who's just kind of stares at us. It's not gonna get cast in the near future, I don't think. So we go with Shortcutter, and then probably if he has a 2-drop, we're just gonna shock it, I think. Yeah. I don't really know though. Yeah, I think because we have these Seismic Stomps and Frost Breaths, we might be better off just doing some damage. It's unfortunate that we didn't draw the 3rd land, but there's nothing we can do about that. So let's just smack him. And hope he doesn't do something crazy here. Probably just Master of Diversion. Okay, the game is a race anyway, so Master of Diversion doesn't even do all that much. Let's go with heads. Yeah, I'm faithful to heads. Oh no, we lost the flip. Too bad. Too bad, too bad. So we're just gonna smack him with our Goblin Shortcutter. He's not gonna block it, of course. And we have some reach cards here, but we need to do some damage. And we need to do it now. So now if we draw an island, if he has like a giant spider or something, we're pretty screwed, I think. We have this Ogre Battle Driver that we just draw, but we can't really play it, so we're just gonna pass the turn. Yeah, still Ogre Battle Driver could maybe get us out of that, but we're in a pretty big hole right now. So if he attacks with the Master, we could just double block it. After he tapped down he taps out down this guy even. So we're just gonna block it with the Shortcutter, I think. The Shortcutter's not going to attack, and we've read the pump spell here. Yeah, that's fine. That's definitely fine. Now just hope that he doesn't follow this up with something really insane. Verdant Haven. Verdant Haven's okay. Now let's just draw a land deck. Just a random land. Yes, very good. So now I think we just play Battle Driver, and then next turn we could go, let's see, play Battle Driver this turn, then next turn we might go Warden into Seismic Stomp. That doesn't seem to achieve all that much. Let's think about this for a minute. So if we look at Frost Breath, these 2 guys down the line, I think Battle Drive is clearly the play here, but I don't really know what to do after that. He has 1 card left, so he's not in the. He doesn't have all that much left, I don't think. So the double Spider Splash Lava Axe deck. He has a Root Walla. Root Walla is definitely a strong card, as I mentioned before. And he has something else even, a Voracious Worm. So he has a lot of stuff going on here, I give him that. But so do we. Oh, Young Pyromancer. Now what does that mean for us? We could play Seismic Stomp, and attack him for 3. 5 is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 damage, putting him down to 5. Huh. Seems tempting. I don't know if it's correct. I think I'd much rather just play the Warden, and then next turn maybe just play Pyromancer, Frost Breath, and Frost Breath or something. Yeah, that is hard. That's definitely hard. If we play Warden right now, we could attack him. But he's just going to block with his Giant Spider, so that doesn't do all that much. Yeah, this is tough. It's definitely tough. See, if he attacks us back for 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's by far not enough. If we go Warden this turn, what are his attacks? He's probably just gonna attack with the Master and the Root Waller, tapping out Ogre Battle Driver. Then we can block the Master with our Elemental tokens. Then next turn, if we draw a land, we can play Young Pyromancer and Frost Breath, tapping down his 2 spiders, or just 2 of his blockers. Maybe we should just go for it. Maybe we should just go for the old 11ing him. 5. It's even more, it's 14. He will go down to 4. And going down to 4 means that Frost Breath into Warden would actually be lethal then. So let's just... I mean, he can't attack us back. There's no way for him to attack us back without just dying. So let's just go for that. Let's just go for maximum damage. Let's just go for the maximum damage play. It's not going to be lethal, but it's definitely going to take a ton of damage. Just go for the races. Let's see. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Even with Lava Axe. Now Lava Axe even means that he can't pump his Root Waller. Oh, he can. No, he can't. Yeah, so... really not sure. I mean, he's in a really tough spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and he was at 18. Okay, so we miscounted a little bit. That means that our Warden is not actually lethal. Oh man. Yeah, that was... maybe we messed that one up. It's possible that we just messed that one up. Well, let's just not care about that, shall we? What does that mean? What does that mean? Does that mean we can just Frost Breath 2 of his blockers and attack him? He blocks 2 of our guys. So that will be our 3-1 and our 3-3, and he takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage, which is not really enough. I think I'm gonna wait another turn and then get in with the Warden as well, which should then be enough. So let's see what he can do. Let's see what he can do. I think I'm not gonna tap down anything during combat. Just gonna tap down his blockers as good as we can. Yeah, I think we should be able to win this game actually. Yeah, I like Young Pyromancer Ogre Battle Driver is a very neat interaction. So what does it mean if he pacifies us? Pacifies our biggest guy. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage, 4 of which we can't block. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attackers, and he can block 3, so that would be exactly lethal if my calculations are correct. And I actually think he has a Lava Axe in hand because he didn't play anything last turn. That might be what he has. Yeah, I'm really curious on how this one ends. I would like to end it next turn, because I think on the long run we're probably the underdog. How does he attack here? He doesn't attack at all. Plays another land. So that means end of turn we are going to Frost Breath his 2 flyers and hope that he doesn't have Plummet. Let's just hope that he doesn't have Plummet. Scourge of Valkis. Okay, that's something. That is definitely something. So I think, yeah, let's just go for it. Let's just go for the Scourge of Valkis plan, because that is gonna kill him on his own. If he has a solution for the Scourge, he can block our biggest guy. I'm gonna deal 1 damage to him. If he has something against the Scourge of Valkis, he can block our biggest guy, he can block a Young Pyromancer, and he can block 1 of our elemental tokens, and we'll go exactly to 1. So, because he is complaining, I think that might be an indicator of him not having anything. So I think I'm just gonna smack him with the Scorch and probably the Young Pyromancer because he doesn't really have that. No, he can just block it with Ruwala. I think I'm just gonna attack him with Scorch here. Yeah, I don't think he has Plummet. Let's see if he can block 3 of our guys, take 3 and go to 2. Yeah, let's just attack with Scorch and hope that's lethal. Hope he doesn't have Plummet. No Plummet one time, sir. Please, no Plummet. Do not plummet us, Mr. Zarabis. And he doesn't plummet us. Yes! Off to the semifinals. That was very nice. That was definitely nice. Although we would have won without the Scorch of Valkas, we could just have played our Warden of Eva's Isle attack with everything, and it would still have been lethal if he didn't have anything. So that was nice. We were able to mitigate our mana problems and pull off a win. So yeah, I'm gonna pause the video again and see you guys back for the semi-finals. So here we are for the semi-finals. It says he rolled a 1, but it shows a 4. I don't understand, but I guess I'll take it. Yeah, I'm gonna play first, of course. HF. This hand is not really keepable. I mean, we have no plays. We only have these Frost Breath and Short Cutter. So again, our suboptimal mana comes back to haunt us a little bit. But that's fine. This hand is decent, I think. If we manage to draw a couple of mountains, we should be well on the way. And he has another green deck for us. So we're just gonna slam this Short Cutter and pass the turn. He's another green-white deck. Huh. 2 green-white decks in the draft. He has Mana Weft Sliver, which is decent. We don't draw the 3rd land. That's suboptimal. It's definitely suboptimal. I'm gonna just smash him with the Short Cutter. Maybe just trades. But that'd be fine for us, because then next turn we can play, if we draw land, we can play the Trained Condor and then play the Blur Sliver. Attack for 4 in the air. He just takes 2. It's fine for me. Let's see what he has for us. Hopefully not a Rumbling Baloth. That would be pretty hard to deal with at this point. An Advocate of the Beast. That's annoying enough. And he attacks us for 1. And we draw a land. Good. Not a mountain, which is not very good, but at least it's a land. We're not gonna attack here, I don't think. It doesn't make any sense. He just eats our guy. So let's hope he doesn't have something really insane. But he has something pre-combat. What could that be? Fire Shrieker. It's equipped 2, right? So he can attack us for 4 this turn. But we're gonna attack him back for 6, so I think we're well underway. We could even play this Ogre Battle Driver if we draw a mountain, but we don't. So I'm just gonna play this Blur Sliver and then go for the races. Attack him for 6. Give our guy flying, which doesn't make a huge difference. He F6'd. Looks like he F6'd. So he attacks us for 5. No, he didn't F6. I think he just hit F6, but it doesn't matter because during combat you can still on F6. It's a predatory sliver. Now we have the choice between playing Time App or Water Servant. Those are our 2 plays. Yeah, he says whoops because he really should have re-equipped this Fire Shrieker. Maybe it's just a trap. Maybe it just tries to set up a nice little trap for us. But I think I'm gonna attack him with everything here, which means that he could take 6 damage. Let's see. If we deal 4 to him, he goes to 8. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's actually lethal next turn with Water Servant if he doesn't have a block of our flyers. And we take 8 on the backswing, and we can still block with our Water Servant. So yeah, that seems like the play here. So let's just smack him with all of our guys. Give the Blur Sliver flying, because it's a 2-2. hope he doesn't have like a windstorm maybe. Oh dear god, is that a windstorm? Celestial Flare. Okay, that means that we sacrificed the Goblin Shortcutter here. And he doesn't block, so he goes to 8. Which means that this is still lethal if he doesn't have anything. Right? That's 2, so yeah, still lethal if he doesn't have anything. But it's unlikely that he doesn't have anything here. What does he have for us? The Bone Scythe Sliver. It's the second time we meet this bad boy today. So all his guys have double strike, so we really have to block here. And I think, yeah, we're gonna take 8 damage here. That's a lot. I think we're just gonna block this Predatory Sliver here, just to make his guys smaller. I think it's the best play. Yeah. So next turn we're not gonna be able to attack him, unfortunately. We draw a Ragathon Firecat. Yeah, we have to block all of his guys now. This is really annoying. Yeah, I think we're probably out of this game. We could time map him, but that's just not enough. Yeah, so that was unfortunate. I think we just have to jump block all of his guys here. Yeah, that was unfortunate. Yeah, wait. Yeah, we have to block all of his guys actually. So that's bad. It's definitely bad. Bone Scythe Sliver is definitely a beating here. Yeah, let's just jump, and jump. It's not much. Let's see. We could actually do this a little bit more intelligently. Just a bit more intelligent and just block his guy that we can actually eat. Not eat, but at least trade for it. We go to 2 life, and he has something as a follow-up even, so yeah, that game's just over. Serra Angel. Oh man, we would have needed that the turn before, but now it's just too late, so yeah, okay. Let's see what we can board against the green-white sliver-ish deck. Let's see, so we don't think we have anything that is too bad against him here. Maybe the Maulhorn, because he has this first strike or double strike guy even again. Let's see, maybe Time Map is just, or Frost Breath are just worse than Seismic Stomp here, because he didn't seem to have any flyers except for the Serra Angel. But I'm still just, I think I'm just gonna leave it like that. So I'm gonna play first, and we have a pretty loose hand. Don't think we can keep that because it just doesn't do any pressure. That's a mulligan as well, unfortunately. Phew. Yeah, I think at this point we're probably out of it. But at least we made it to the semi-finals, so that's at least something. And you have to run good to win these kinds of tournaments. But never count out your chickens or something. Something with chickens. I mean, we draw a young Pyromancer at least. He's going to be able to kill one of his guys and get make a token. And he doesn't seem to have a lot going on as well. He's just a Predatory Sliver, Manaweth Sliver even. Yeah, I think we're just gonna pass here. I don't want to burn my Volcanic Geyser just for Manaweth Sliver. Yeah, but I think we're still in very bad shape here. Just because a mulligan down to 5 is not what the doctor ordered. Not at all. And he has, what does he have for us? 3 mana, 4 mana. This is a Serra Angel, it's a Rumbling Baloth. That's very bad as well. Draw Time Map, which is fine. We're just going to Time Map his Baloth here. Get a nice little Time Walk effect out of that. And a token even. So yeah, maybe we can pull something off here. Maybe, not sure though. Just as a Sentinel Sliver. And something else. Something else. What could that be? A Troll Hide. Troll Hide. That's okay. Troll hide is definitely okay. Could burn away his Sentinel's Liver and attack him for 3, but I think I'd much rather just kill off his mana with Sliver as long as we can. So let's burn this guy for 3. And then we might just want to trade the Pyromancer for the Sentinel's Liver here. Because Pyromancer is going to get blanked by the Baloth anyways. He has the mana to cast it. So that won't really do all that much here. He doesn't have the mana to cast it, but still. Yeah, maybe throwing this Pyromancer away was bad, because that would have been one way for us to get back into this game. Master of Diversion. Master of Diversion action. So we still have some good cards that we can draw, but we drew a lot of lands as well. If we can draw like Scourge of Valkas, that can maybe do something. He's going to tap one of our dudes, and we're just going to take 2. He didn't play anything the turns. He didn't have the mana to play the Baloth the turn before, so he doesn't have it as well here. Yes, Hive Stirrings. Ogre Battle Driver. See, I knew that. I kind of knew that I was wrong to try away the young Pyromancer, but I still went for it and get punished by that now. I think I'm just gonna smack with my 2 tokens. I'm willing to trade them away for his slivers if he wants to do so, because his slivers are only gonna get worse for us. So he does go for the trade. So if we could draw like a trained Conda, that could put us well back into this game. And he was struggling a bit because he didn't have like the double green, but he has a follow up. So he Deadly Recluse even. Ha! Shellcut is definitely a nice draw here, because that means his Recluse is not gonna get to block, and we're gonna actually get him for a fair amount of damage. 7 apiece here. Yeah, maybe we can still do something here, but still, I mean, he has 4 cards in his hand, we have 0. That can't be good. Oh, we have 1, but it's a land. He doesn't know about that, but we do. So we're probably still in not that great of a shape, and now the Rumbling Baloth is going to come down. So I really think it has to be, we have to win due to some combination of like Seismic Stomp and drawing something pretty sweet right now. And Island doesn't count as something pretty sweet for sure. Yeah, drawing 9 lands after a mulligan down to 5 really does us in here. Yeah, I think there's not much we can do actually. It started out pretty bad, it became a little bit better, but now it's still looking very bad. Let's see, do we actually want to trade here? I don't really know, but I think I'm willing to trade this guy away here. He might have a giant growth, but that's fine. Just to give us a little bit more time, but now he has Rumbling Baloth, and Rumbling Baloth is just really unfair in a format where all the creatures are just tiny. Jeez, we draw so many lands. I think at this point we're just dead, because we can't really block any of his guys now. We're taking a lot of damage. Yeah, we're gonna just trade for his Recluse, I think. Yeah, prevents some damage, but at this point it's pretty pointless. Yeah, and he even has something else. He even has another Hive Stirrings, and we draw. I think there's nothing we can draw here. No, not even Scourge of Valkas. I think we're just dead. Yeah, draw another island, and that is it. So good game and good luck for the finals. So, boys and girls, that was it. We made it to the semi-finals, which is nothing to scoff at. As I said, you need to get pretty lucky in order to win these tournaments. But semi-finals is definitely strong. Gonna get a nice couple of packs. We even picked up a Garruk, so we can sell that for a couple of tickets. So all in all, it was definitely a successful tournament. So yeah, that was it, guys. If you have any comments about the drafting, about the plays that I made, for example, trading away this young Pyromancer, I'm really curious about what you think about that. and all that kind of stuff, then please just leave a comment on the YouTube, the old YouTube. You can check out my other drafts on the same channel. I think they are called, I think, Magic 2014 Whole Tournament and Magic 2014 Draft number 7. So yeah, you can go and check these out if you're interested in more drafts. I also do some pauper play testing from time to time with mostly self-made decks. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but I just like brewing. So yeah, if you're interested in that, go check us out. Anyways, this was Dom playing a 64 player draft, and I hope to see to be back on the channel soon. But meanwhile, thank you very much for watching, and go play some Magic.